Thing 1 2. Test, test, test. We're live, I think.
Testes, testicles.
Testes, 1 2. Testes, test, test.
And yes, we are supposed to have two testes. So
Some people have one, so
I said we are supposed to.
people people might find that just maybe a little offensive.
Tough shit.
I'm just putting it out there. That some
Like you say in your little intro for the Sully show, we just don't give a damn.
we don't. We really don't. Go cry to your mom.
If you don't like it, tough shit.
Don't go cry to your mom.
Right?
We don't want to hear it.
Go
Hello?
cry to mama
Hello?
because we don't give a shit.
Testing 1 2. Testing 1 2. Go to my channel on Twitch. Go to my profile on the live. Bring up YouTube. We're all here.
You sound good.
Hello. Oh, volume's up on my
Hello?
Hello.
Goodbye, goodbye, goodbye.
Hello, Governor. Hello.
Hey there, now I can share it.
Lady Death, what are we not giving a damn about? Time? And can I join in that? Yeah. We just don't give a damn about, people being offended.
Right.
Because that's how we roll. All right. Let's get to it. JT, go for for those that are chiming in, we're going to be starting Avenger Pretenders. So, JT, why don't you go for the intro there?
Good evening, ladies and gentlemen, and welcome once again to Avenger Pretenders, right here on Accidental Punch TV, courtesy of Twitch.tv. This week, it's episode 4 of What If with the Redneck and the Geek. Gentlemen, it's all yours.
That's right. I'm Sully. Hello, everybody. And with me is the redneck himself, JT Hollis, who is missing part of his thumb because he had a little accident. We're in the garage there, but he is okay. He's alive and well. Lady Death
We'll talk about that tomorrow.
Lady Death says, I don't give a flying fladoodle about a lot either. That's true. That's true. So, hello and welcome once again to Avenger Pretender, starring a geek and a redneck. And today we are tackling episode 4 of What If, and this one centered on Doctor Strange. Where what if Doctor Strange lost his heart instead of his hands? Now, at first point, people would probably read that title and go, "Wait, what do you mean? He got stabbed in the heart or something?" Not really.
That's kind of where I went.
Oh, really?
I was like, I mean, did he have, find out that he had heart issues and, creates, an artificial heart kind of thing, or where are we going with this? But your frame of mind gets changed very, very quickly.
Yeah. Oh, very quickly. And that's the beauty of the actual episode itself, is because I kind of did the same thing, but then I went, you know what? I know where they're going to go with this. And boy, did they go there.
Oh, yeah, they went there big time.
They went there.
As they say, it can hit you in the feels.
Oh, it gets you. It gets you in the feels.
Nakaya says that she cried.
She cried? Aw. Don't cry.
I mean, if you think about it, it's...
It's very heartbreaking. It's a very heartbreaking episode. And the cool thing is, and I don't know if anybody else picked up on this, is that the episode itself opens up an entire doorway and storyline for Doctor Strange and the multiverse of madness.
And I think that's going to happen with every episode, though, is that it's going to open up, just about every episode, it's going to open up a different storyline that they could very easily step into very, very quickly.
Especially
the question
this
is,
episode.
are they going to?
They might. Remember, I've been saying it from the beginning that everything is done for a reason.
Mm.
So there's a rhyme and reason to the episodes. There's a rhyme and reason to seeing what's happening and what's going on. There's a rhyme and reason that will tie into the MCU because it's a part of the MCU. It's a phase 4. Loki opened up the door to this show, which is now opening up the doors to Doctor Strange and the Multiverse of Madness and Spider-Man No Way Home. So we've got a lot going on in one shot.
There's a whole lot going on.
Oh yeah, and this one is very interesting. It starts off where Doctor Strange is getting an award for completing a rare hemispherectomy. Hemispherectomy. I had to look it up because I didn't know what it was. I mean, obviously it's a neurological procedure, but
well, I mean, if you think about it, okay, a vasectomy,
right?
You know, they're going in and they're taking out a certain part. So
right.
To me, that would tell me that he went into one certain part of the brain and removed something, but at the same time fixed something on the inside.
Yes. So
that'd be my guess anyway.
After I looked it up, I found out that the hemispherectomy, it's a rare neurological procedure in which a cerebral hemisphere, half of the upper brain or cerebrum, is removed, disconnected, or disabled.
So it's kind of like a lobotomy.
Kinda. This procedure is used to treat a variety of seizure disorders where the source of the epilepsy is localized to a broad area of the single hemisphere of the brain, notably Rasmussen's encephalitis. About 1 in 3 patients with epilepsy will continue to have persistent seizures despite epileptic drug therapy. The hemispherectomy is reserved for the most extreme cases of this 1/3 in which the individual seizures are irresponsive to medications or other less invasive surgeries and significantly impair functioning or part of the patient at risk of further complications. And I went, damn.
So, but my question would be, okay, yeah, they get rid of the epileptic seizures, and granted, this is way off the subject here. But what other functions do they lose by removing that?
Right, and that I don't know.
Because, I think about it, one section of the brain controls more than just one thing.
According to this, 85 to 90% of patients, additionally, it cures the seizures. So that's good.
That's good.
It's also known to markedly improve the cognitive functioning and development of the individual. So, yay. That's good, too.
Oh, so it's kind of like removing the crayon from Homer's brain, then.
Yes.
All of a sudden, they get really smart.
Let's see. A complete hemispherectomy can often be avoided, particularly when there is a little hemiparesis. Now, mind you, if I'm butchering these words, I'm not a doctor. I'm not a nurse. I don't do the medical shit. I'm just reading what I had to look up because I didn't know what the hell it was.
And to be honest with you, I thought that it was a made-up thing.
I thought so too.
Really did.
But at the same time, a lot of the stuff that's been in the Marvel comics and in the Marvel TV shows and even the movies have been real. In some way, shape, or form, have been real. The theory of time travel, that's been out there for God knows how many decades. But what people don't understand is, like they explain in Endgame, because they did have physicists and, all these other people that were backing them up when it comes to this, you don't go into the past. Your past becomes your future. Well, no, sorry. If you go into the past, it becomes your future. While you're in the past, that becomes your present. And then you go back, everything's going to be, off the charts. which is where the TVA comes in and resets the timeline.
Right. Exactly.
So don't mess it up. Don't mess
Here
it up.
comes freaking Loki again.
Damn it, Loki. So anyway, Doctor Strange is getting an award for this, and his girlfriend, Dr. Christine Palmer, who is played by Rachel McAdams. She also did the voiceover for the What If, which is awesome. They got her back. She's in the second movie. Really cool. They're going to this celebration party in his honor. And instead of him getting into a car accident and having his fingers and hands crushed, she dies. Right off the bat. She dies. And it's interesting, to say the least.
I have one issue with that whole thing.
Okay. What's your issue?
With that kind of a wreck...
Oh, he should have died
nobody in that car would have survived.
Yeah, he should have died too.
Just the secondary impact from after they busted through the wall or the barrier and go off the cliff. When they hit nose first,
yeah,
that was it.
Oh yeah,
that was it. Because I mean, if you think about it, Dale Earnhardt died from driving into a wall at an angle.
Yep.
With safety gear.
Oh yeah.
The only safety gear they had was a seatbelt and an airbag.
And water.
And sorry, but on a straight hit like that, you're done.
Seatbelt and water. That's what they had. So, when we come down to it, she died in the car crash. We hear Jeffrey Wright as the Watcher narrating what has happened. They're doing the funeral and everything else like that. And instead of Doctor Strange going off to the mystic lands to find the Ancient One, played by Tilda Swinton, who also reprised her role, to heal his hands, he was trying to find out a way to bring her back.
Mm-hmm.
And in the process became the Sorcerer Supreme. Fought Dormammu, just like in the movie. Only difference was his hands are okay. He could still perform surgery.
I thought it was pretty important that they noted that in the show.
Yes.
That, you know, even though he was looking for a way to bring her back, he actually followed the timeline that was set before in the real life MCU of fighting Dormammu and winning and becoming the, you know, Sorcerer Supreme and all that good stuff. I thought it was because I was wondering about that. It's like, okay, well, you know, how does it go?
And that's really the only difference was instead of him getting hurt, it was her. And that's it. So now he's obviously studying the Eye of Agamotto, also known as the Time Stone. Mwahahaha. And Strange learns that while manipulating time, he's warned by the Ancient One and Wong not to do so as it could damage the fabric of reality. Which is what everybody says when it comes to time travel. Don't go backwards and bet on horse races because you could screw something up. Okay?
Right.
You could screw something up. Especially in this type of situation. Because this does link to Loki very, very well. It's a fixed point in time. You can't mess it up.
Absolute.
It's absolute. Which means even if you touch a blade of grass, something is going to change. But the result is going to be the same. Okay? That's just all time travel movies. The results should be the same. Which is where Ant-Man comes in and says, you mean Back to the Future was a bunch of bullshit? It was entertainment, but yes. It was entertainment, but yes. After 2 years, they bring it up 2 years later, Strange is attempting to use the eye to save her. But he goes back in time to that same night while he's getting the award, and he tries to change some things. You know, in the
Right.
first time you see her die, he tries to go around the truck and goes back behind her, and then a truck hits, like a car or a truck hits them behind, and she dies. This time around, it's very similar, where he's going to go around the truck, but then he decides not to. But he
Right.
still gets hit by a car or another truck from behind, and boom, she dies.
I think it was a car because of the way you couldn't really tell in like the first two, but the further it went into it, you could kind of see it,
Yeah,
fishtailing out of control kind of thing.
yeah. Now, I think this would be. Would this be like a time paradox? I guess is that what we would probably call this?
Yeah, I think
A
so. I mean,
time
to
paradox.
me, it's kind of the Groundhog Day effect. I don't know if that would
Yeah,
be the same thing, but that's kind of what I got was Groundhog Day.
yeah.
You know, and except things weren't changing for him. He
Right.
changed the circumstances of everything. One time he let her drive. One time, they took a different route. They didn't take the bridge, so they went through town, and well, they got hit by a semi. You know, uh,
Or he
and
didn't
all
even
the
show
different
up.
things that he tried. Yeah, didn't pick her up at all, and there was an explosion, and she was killed anyway. So
So
yeah,
a
I
lot
mean,
of ways you could probably tie this to to Final Destination too.
I would assume I don't think I ever saw that one.
So in Final Destination, what happened was we had a kid who had a premonition where the plane was going to explode, and he got himself and a couple of other friends off the plane. Okay,
Hmm.
and throughout the movie, and I know you're not going to watch it because it's a horror film.
Right.
Throughout the movie, what happens is he figures out Death's plan, and he figures it out by the way they would have died on the plane. Row by row, seat by seat, so on and so forth. Okay? So now you have this kid figuring out all the different ways that, who's next, who's going to be next. And the
Hmm.
minute he saves somebody, it skips to the next person and kills the next person. But it keeps going like that until everybody's gone because that's Death's design. Okay?
Right.
This
So that whole airplane flight and the people that died on it was an absolute point in time.
correct, which
Nothing they could
means
do would change it. They were still going to die no matter what.
right, which means by saving his friends, all he did was prolong the inevitable. This is
Right.
the same concept. Very, very same concept. And even Doctor Strange is at the point in this story where he needs to save her, he wants to save her, and he will do whatever it costs to save her. Enter the Ancient One.
Hmm.
The Ancient One
You
finally comes down and says, listen,
you can't do that.
knock the shit off.
She was nicer about it, but
Oh
yeah,
yeah,
pretty much.
very nice about it. But she explains about the paradox. She explains, listen, the more you keep doing this, the more she's going to die. And you're not going to be able to bring her back. It's a fixed point in time. Because of this, you will not become the Sorcerer Supreme. Which makes sense. In this timeline, you will not become the Sorcerer Supreme. Okay?
Right.
Strange just refuses to listen to her. Uses the eye and gets transported to some jungle type place where he's
But
looking for the lost library and the lost books of the Sorcerer Supremes. Okay?
mhm.
Because
My instinct when that scene came up was,
yeah,
it's like, when you're watching a horror movie and you know what's going to happen and you're sitting there going, don't go in there. I was sitting there going, don't follow him.
don't do it. You're gonna die, dude.
Do it.
Don't
No.
do it. Don't do it. What was it? It was the Lost Library of Cagliostro.
Yes.
So he meets the librarian there, who introduces himself as Obeng, right?
Mhm.
Obeng, yeah, Obeng.
Yep.
learns that he can only gain the power necessary to save Dr. Palmer by absorbing magical beings. Now, for me, when I heard that, I thought he was going to do what Mordo did at the end of the first Doctor Strange movie, where he was going to all the magical people and absorbing their powers.
Mm-hmm.
Because he's on this mission now, which will continue in the second Doctor Strange movie, of I'm going to be taking their power because I'm the bad guy and there should not be any more Sorcerer Supremes out there.
Right.
Okay? That's what I thought. Boy, was I wrong.
Yeah, I mean, when you think about it, when, normals like us hear the phrase, absorbing the powers
Magical
of
beings.
other mystical beings, you don't necessarily think of
A gnome.
creatures.
A
A
gnome.
gnome, a two-headed freaking wolf, the octopus thingy from that they had in Captain Carter. I can't remember what its name was, but
Yep.
you don't necessarily think of that. You would think that they would go after other sorcerers like Dumbledore or something like that.
Yeah. And we see it's a huge montage of him absorbing all of these beings. Like, huge.
Mm-hmm.
Like,
Yeah, it's
whoa.
funny how small they started, because they started with a gnome, and then
Yeah.
they went to it was either a cockroach or a water bug,
Yeah.
and that's where he got his cape. Oh, nice cape. But I draw the line at bugs.
Yeah.
Okay. Yeah.
So, well, it's funny because we're seeing all of this happen. Lady Death just said that
Even
too.
the guy says, but he draws the line at bugs.
There you go. He locked himself in a time loop
Mm-hmm.
to get all these powerful beings.
Oh.
And all of a sudden we see a dying Obang telling him, "You're not powerful enough, dude. You're only half of yourself." Which now we find out that the Ancient One
Mm-hmm.
used magic from the Dark Dimension, which we've seen before, Dormammu, folks,
Yo.
to split himself in half. So all of a sudden we're back to the Sanctum Sanctorum, and he's sitting there looking at the time zone like, do I do this or no?
Right. Yeah, that's enough of spending time in the past for one night.
Right. And they get to the point where he decides not to do it, not to go back in time. So now we have two different timelines with the same Doctor Strange. One who decided to lock himself away for centuries, and one who decided, nah, I'm not going to do it.
Well,
So now we have an even bigger paradox going on. It
Yeah.
doesn't matter about the time travel now. Now we just know that there's a bigger paradox. Because as the good Doctor Strange, ha ha ha, all of a sudden he's seeing Wong starting to disappear like in Infinity War.
right.
And,
Well, and it all started because he opened the door to the sanctum
right.
and went outside, and that was where I started to get freaky.
Yeah, because I'm like, wait a minute.
What in the hell is going on here?
Right. And you're like, wait a
you
minute.
got-
This doesn't make any sense.
I mean, it was like a lame version of when Thanos snapped his fingers.
Yeah.
It was like a lame version of that, because it looked like, if you remember the old hot lamps,
Yes.
lava lamps,
Lava
lamps.
lamps.
That's the word. That's the name.
Yeah.
Like the lava lamp.
That's perfect. Lava
Yeah,
lamps.
that's what it looked like to me. It was like the lava lamps, and it's like, Okay, I mean it's cool for what you're doing, but it's kind of a lame version of Thanos going on there.
Yeah. So the Ancient One splits him into two alternate versions, one studying all these books to bring Dr. Parma back, and the other one going, nah, I accept it. But she believes that the one who accepted Dr. Palmer's death can defeat Strange Supreme.
I would imagine it's the only one that could stop him would be him.
Yes.
And logically that would make sense.
Yes.
So
So now we run into the issue of, and by the way, guys, Lady Death says that the world was melting. Yeah, oh, the world was melting, all right. By the way, this is one of this show, even though it was what 36 minutes long, so it was one of the
mhm.
longer of the episodes,
Yep.
but it really was a matter of who was going to beat who, and eventually the two Stranges were going to come out after each other. They were going to
Right.
fight. We know they're going to fight.
Right.
So they get to the point where Strange Supreme overpowers Doctor Strange and absorbs him and all his power, becoming one. So now we have the problem of Doctor Strange is gone, Strange Supreme is around, he's the evil bad guy now, and he reverses Palmer's death. But he screws everything else up in the process. Because, lo and behold, your actions have consequences.
Consequences. No.
Duh.
No. Actions can't have consequences.
Yes, I can. So now we have an entirely new paradox going on. Want to say hi to Carol, who just came into the chat room. Hello. It's okay if you're late. We understand. We're currently
Totally
talking
understand.
about the What If, episode 4. What if Doctor Strange lost his heart instead of his hands? Which has a whole new meaning. And we're at the point where Strange saves Palmer's life, changes it, but creates a paradox inside another paradox. But what I
Two
really
timelines
love,
running consecutively in the same universe,
yes, what I
which
really
is
loved was that his actions brought about the consequence of tearing the reality apart.
yeah. I mean, when you think about it, if you for me, especially with everything that I've learned with Loki
Yep.
and everything else, when you think about having two timelines running concurrently in the same universe is almost unthinkable.
Yeah.
Because if you think about it in Loki terms, would that cause two separate timelines to split off on the time chart, or would it just be one?
So it would be one only because they go back to the point in time that's fixed.
Okay.
Okay.
But I
So
mean, it's still a strange for me. It's a strange thought to really have in my head. It's like that when I
yeah.
started thinking about it, what are you doing,
Yeah.
JT? What? Stop doing that.
Now, and this is my favorite part of this. Okay.
Hmm.
My favorite part is Strange begs the Watcher for help. And he
Hmm.
flat out calls him out that you've been watching. You need to help me. But the Watcher refuses to intervene, just like he says he doesn't.
Right.
Do not intervene. The reality is tearing itself apart, and Strange forms some type of small protective pocket to protect him as the entire universe of that timeline is destroyed completely.
Right.
But the
I mean,
Worst
Go
part
ahead.
is Dr. Palmer disintegrates, leaving him alone. So
Yeah.
now,
And all he can do is sit there and say, "I'm sorry, I'm sorry, I'm sorry."
right, he
You
destroyed an
know,
entire universe.
and
Now,
by then it's too late.
what I really loved was the interaction between him and the Watcher.
I really like that too, but to me, and just to kind of back up a little bit, because the part that really stuck out to me, other than the fact that the Watcher was actually involved in this episode instead of just being the narrator.
Yes.
When they did that, that blew my mind. Okay, but of all the fight scenes that we have seen
Yes.
in What If, hell, I'll go back to the fight scenes that we saw in Loki. I'll go back to the fight scenes that we saw in Falcon and the Winter Soldier.
Sure.
The battle between Good Strange and Bad Strange was freaking awesome.
It was phenomenal.
It was freaking awesome. It was off the charts. It was more of an oh my god than Hulk blowing up.
And that was
Okay,
fun.
I mean, that fight scene in itself was a 5.
Yeah. It
Just
was
saying.
good.
I mean,
It was
that was
good.
an epic fight. When Bad Strange, or when evil Doctor Strange destroyed the cape, you literally heard the cape scream.
Yeah.
You literally heard the freaking cape scream.
Yeah. Which was
That
cool.
was like, I was like, oh shit.
Yeah. Now, with all of that being said, and I said this before, this opens up a whole bunch of different ways that
Oh,
this evil Doctor Strange can be brought into the MCU. He's already there. He's floating around into oblivion.
Does it kind of seem like a recycled Spider-Man Venom thing to you though?
No. Nope.
No? Okay.
Nope. Nope, 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 nope. But we also have a lot of Easter eggs that happened.
Of course
And
you
actually,
do.
you know, I don't think I would call some of these Easter eggs. Maybe some of them, but one,
References.
yeah, references like the car crash was an exact replica of the car crash in the movie.
Let's call them cookies. Let's call them cookies.
Cookies, okay,
Yeah.
cookies. The fight with Dormammu obviously was, taken right from the movie as well, so we have those references. Lady Death says the battle within yourself is always going to be the worst battle you fight. Very true.
I wouldn't say the worst. I would say the most epic.
Yep.
Which is kind of the same thing as the worst. So, yeah. It's all in the way you word it.
So we also have Caligstro, which we've mentioned before, looking for the lost books or the lost texts, and they find them. That's, I mean, they mentioned that in the movie, so obviously they refer back to that. He's the first person that found the Eye of Agamotto, so obviously it plays a huge role with Doctor Strange. And then, of course, in this version, he is the Sorcerer Supreme. In the MCU, the movies, he's not the Sorcerer Supreme at all. He's just Doctor Strange. He's not even the Sorcerer Supreme yet. He hasn't learned everything that he needs to learn in order to get that title. He's just the protector of the inner sanctum in New York. That's it.
Right.
The sanctum
Right.
sanctorum. So you have one who is and one who isn't. Okay? There's references to what's going to be happening with Shang-Chi, which came out this weekend. I haven't seen it yet. I want to see it Will I be able to? I don't know, but it'd be really cool if I can, because I want to see it. Because it's going to play a big role into Spider-Man. So, yes. Obviously, we know Christine's death replaces Doctor Strange's hands. It's all good. It's all good. We do have, however, a side character, Christine Everhart. If you haven't seen her yet, go back and watch the movie. She's actually a news reporter that was not only in Doctor Strange, but was in a couple of other MCU movies as well. And you've seen her on TV before. So, so she reprises her role. The other thing is, if you look real close at Strange's time travel, he basically proves the Hulk's theory right. And if you don't remember what that is...
I was going to say, refresh this redneck's brain on what the Hulk's theory was.
The Hulk's concept of time travel is the past. If you go into the past, that becomes your present, leaving your former present being your past. That's just the way it goes.
Okay.
And then you can't go back to the time that you're in, because that becomes your future.
So basically what he's saying is that, so your timeline is this. It's just a straight line.
Your timeline's a straight line.
So this is your timeline. And you're at this point in your timeline, but you jump back to here.
That's a whole new timeline.
So it doesn't go, whoop, whoop. It just keeps going, but everything from this point forward is new.
Which, if you think about it, that's why there's two of you. There will be two of you.
Mm-hmm.
Your past and you. Your present. And let's face it, the future isn't written yet. Now, one of the things that I do love is when I read articles that basically say exactly what I have already mentioned, like Final Destination. Final Destination. If you have a fixed point in time, time is going to correct itself. If you're supposed to die, it's going to correct it, and you're going to die eventually.
Right.
Okay?
Well, and that's like, just a quick, I guess I would call it a quick example of what you're talking about.
Yep.
Here, last weekend, I think it was either last weekend or the weekend before, Kay and I went to a Songwriters in the Round thing that the local radio station was having.
Yep.
It was outside, and we did the VIP thing, and we got to have a private performance from an up-and-coming artist. But as we're sitting here and as we're getting closer to it and the day of, I was just close to saying, no, we're not going to go.
Okay.
And about 2 hours before, I sat there and I looked at myself and I basically told myself, you know what, you need to practice what you preach. Because you say all the time, and I've said it many a time on the Sully Show and on Shout Out with JT, if you're going to get it, you're going to get it.
Right.
It doesn't matter, it's just like, if you're going to have a heart attack, no matter what you do, that event is still going to happen because it's supposed to happen.
Right.
And, it kind of translates into the same thing of what you're talking about and what this show is all about.
And that's the weird part is that we understand it.
Mm-hmm. We think about it, though.
We do.
We look logically at those kind of things, whereas most people, and yes, I will say most people, don't.
Right. The other thing is, there's a Doctor Who tie, which I
Why
know
was there a
JT
phone
won't
booth in there
know.
somewhere?
Well, one of the things that they do in Doctor Who is fixed point in time. You have a
Hmm.
fixed point in time, or as they put it in the MCU, an absolute point. No matter what you do,
Right.
and this also ties to Loki, this is going to happen. Pompeii is going to get destroyed.
Hmm.
That's an absolute point in time. The hurricane in Loki, that's an absolute point in time. Because that's where
Yeah,
the
because
variants were
nothing
hiding
happens
out.
after that.
Right. That's where the variants were hiding out in absolute points in time. In this case, this is an absolute point in time where, in this universe, she dies, he becomes Doctor Strange. And there's really only two ways you can go about this. You can either accept her death or try to use your power and bring her back, therefore creating a
And destroy the
paradox
universe.
and destroying the universe. Okay?
Sorry for busting out laughing.
Yeah, no, that's fine.
I'm scrolling through Facebook as I'm listening to you, and I run across this thing just real quick. It says 75% of a Finnish park ranger's job is rescuing the metal bands that get lost shooting album covers.
There you go.
And now back to what else?
Back to our show. So,
Sorry.
in this case, the egotistical Doctor Strange, which we know he's egotistical. He was that
Well,
way in
and,
the
and
movie.
he used that logic when he was arguing with himself before the fight started.
Right.
Talking about how, we're always trying to fix things, and that's what put us here in the first place.
Right. Another reference is the Loki fall. For those that don't remember, in Thor Ragnarok, when Loki is falling for 30 minutes, Doctor Strange did the same exact fall and landed the same exact way and got him up. So I thought that was a great tie-in. Obeng.
Mm-hmm.
Obeng is also one. He's not your typical librarian. He is the keeper of the lost books, which we know about. He is a Marvel comic book character, and the fact that they brought him into the MCU means a whole lot more, because Obeng is actually Cagliostro. Holy crap. They're the same person. They're the same
Okay,
person.
so Ovang is Cagliostros.
Yep. He is technically the ancient sorcerer. Okay.
So that opens up the ability for them to do an entire movie about Cagliostros
Well, yeah, but you got to
if they
remember.
want to, or a series.
Yeah, well, here's the same thing though. He's also the same the same librarian who starred. Wow, the same person who studied the Darkhold, which you saw in WandaVision and Agents of S.H.I.E.L.D. So, now we're tying things in just a little bit more. Okay?
Right.
Caecilius,
What did you clip? Oh,
me screwing up. They also have time travel symbol. Hydra's monster, which you had mentioned before, was also a huge Easter egg in Doctor Strange. So bringing that back ties it to what if Captain Carter became the first Avenger. And the best part is how Bang flat out told Doctor Strange that beasts don't bargain. You're either going to take the beast or the beast is going to take you. So I thought that was interesting that he was going to try to do the whole Dormammu thing, and it didn't work out for him. Then, of course, we have Sumaket. Sumaket was in there. If you were paying attention to the magical beasts that Strange was absorbing, Sumaket is one of those monsters that can pretty much kick the crap out of Doctor Strange. But it also ties.
Which one was it?
So Sumaket is. How's the best way I can explain Sumaket?
Well, I mean, was he the bird? Was he the dragon? Was he the two-headed wolf? You know, which one of those was he?
Yeah, let me. I'll no, I'll see if I can pull up a picture and show you. But
Okay.
but he wasn't exactly one of them. He was more of a person with like he had horns, but they were on the side of his head, and then like the rest of his head were all horns too. Very very close to the old kings of Atlantis. So now we're starting to bring Atlantis into this. And we've already brought Atlantis in. Tremors under the ocean in Endgame. Well, what are we going to do about it? Well, we're going to do this. We're going to leave it alone. It's an earthquake under the water. But is it? Is it really? Marvel owns the rights to the Submariner, so we could be seeing Namor coming soon to a theater near you. And Sumaket doesn't like him at all. At all.
Imagine that.
Nope. Now.
Imagine that.
The other thing is, if you think about it, this also brings about the Necromancer. Necromancer is a very, very, very bad guy.
Even in Harry Potter.
Oh, yeah. Even in Aladdin. Even in Lord
of the Rings.
Yep.
Dumbledore.
But the Necromancer is a different version of Doctor Strange. Crazy, right?
Okay, say that again.
He's a different version of Doctor Strange.
I could see where the evil Doctor Strange could turn into a necromancer.
Which
I could see that.
Which, if you think about it, in this case, Doctor Strange Supreme, the split between the two, he was technically Necromancer.
Yeah. Well, yeah, because he was killing other mystical beings.
Yep. Plus the new cape. They had a new cape in there. The Dark Dimension, they bring that back up. They also bring up the Vishanti.
Well, it was a stolen cape.
Yes, but
because he stole it from the little cockroach.
Yes. You also had a reference to Strange's Infinity War lasso when he was fighting Thanos one-on-one. And let me tell you, if anybody can go up against Thanos one-on-one, it's Doctor Strange. So seeing all those lassos, they tied that together really well too. The cloak is, up and running. And of course, they definitely heightened the arrogance and the ego of Doctor Strange big time in this episode. So there was a lot to really look for. And I don't even think I hit all the Easter eggs, to be honest.
Well, and like I've said before, I always try to watch the episode that we're going to talk about a second time the day of the show.
Yep.
Because I want to refresh, for one.
Yes.
But I also want to try to catch things I missed.
Okay.
Because the first time I watch it as Redneck Fanboy JT. The second time I watch it as Redneck Fanboy Jane T, who's trying to look into it.
Right.
Trying to analyze.
Right.
And those kind of things. So, But yeah, I mean, you could probably watch that episode 4 or 5 times and not catch everything because I mean things happen so fast that they're real easy to miss.
Yes. Oh yeah. Oh yeah. I mean, even looking at both Evil and the regular Doctor Strange, if you look at their goatees, you can even see their goatees are different.
Hmm. Yep.
Just
Well,
you can see.
he just looks just his face, just his demeanor and the way he holds himself
Yes.
is there's I mean, it's night and day between the two
Sure.
when it gets to the point where, where they meet face to face.
Yeah.
And one of my favorite lines in the movie was when he opened up the portal to bring good Doctor Strange in, and they they look down and go, "Well, that's not good."
Yep.
No, it's not. Boom.
Yeah. And you know
Real
what?
quick, want to say hi to Neil. Just came into the
What
chat
up?
room. Neil, good to see you, my
Hello,
friend.
sir. The other thing is they also reference the chaos magic from WandaVision. You know, when Wanda basically explodes full of power, it's all
Hmm.
red.
Yeah,
So there's a lot going on here, which will also tie into Doctor Strange and the Multiverse of Madness, and it's kind of interesting to see the similarities between the two. Especially at the
yeah.
end of WandaVision when Vision starts fading away because the magic is done. You know, she gets rid of all the magic.
Hmm.
Christine
Yep.
Palmer kind of disappears the same way, only it's black, it's dark. The universe is collapsing in on itself. So there's there's a lot going on.
Yeah,
And
and
now it
it's
opens
going to
up.
be interesting to watch
Yeah,
in the future. I mean, if you're a big MCU person like Sully is, you
me.
know what's coming. You've
Oh
watched the
yeah.
preview for uh, Phase 4 a million times, and you know everything that's coming up.
Oh
Well,
yeah.
there's still stuff that they haven't revealed either in Phase 4 or in Phase 5.
Right. And
You
really,
know,
Shang
and
Chi.
all of these episodes just open up a lot of doors for those kind of things.
Actually, I think I'm pronouncing it wrong. I don't think it's Shang Chi. I think it's Shang Chi. Shang Chi and the Legend of the Ten Rings. That's gonna
Right.
tie into it big time.
I never knew that he was a part of the MCU
Yep. Oh yeah.
until they said in the preview, the newest Avenger.
Yeah. Now there is
Really?
one more very interesting Easter egg that I don't think anybody else really picked up on, but I've kind of been noticing it with What If. Now, if you think about it, the first movie that really dealt with the multiverse was not any of the Marvel movies. Well, not any of the MCU movies. It actually
Okay.
was Spider Man Into the Spider Verse, which was all
Yeah.
animated. It centered around
Yep.
Peter Parker and, well, what's his name there? What the hell's the other Spider Man's name? Crap. Miles Morales, Gwen Stacy, Spider Man Noir, like all these different Spider Man.
Spider Pig.
Yep, Spider Pig, Spider Ham. Spider Ham. But these are all different versions of the same character, different names, different realities, so on and so forth. But the one thing that was similar was in Into the Spider Verse. There is a wonderful little thing that is a catalyst that may have, oh, I don't know, tentacles like crazy, which we've seen not once, but twice already. Twice.
But now his tentacles are a lot shorter.
Yes. Well, in this universe, he's just, part of Doctor Strange now.
Hello, old friend. Goodbye.
Goodbye, old friend.
See
so,
ya.
so for me, I'm going to go out on a limb and say This is going to open up a lot of different doorways. A lot of different doorways. A lot of different things that you can do. And you're going to be bringing in new villains. New villains from the comics. And it's going to be amazing. So, with that being said, JT, what do you give this week's episode of What If question marks?
It's, I'm torn. To be honest, I'm torn. One, this episode really made my brain hurt.
Because of the time travel?
Because of the time travel and the battle between the two.
Okay.
And the fact that they went in a complete and total different direction than I ever thought they would have. They went extremely dark in this episode.
Okay.
And you know me, I try to be the happy-go-lucky guy. I try to be, happy and make other people happy and smile and laugh, and that's why I do this shit.
Sure.
So, I'm not really crazy about that, so that would push me towards a lower rating.
Okay.
But at the same time, the fight was just amazing.
Yes.
The fight between the two of them, and the fact that evil Strange destroyed good Strange's cape, and you heard the cape scream.
Oh yeah.
And just there were a lot of things that were pushing my rating down, and there were a lot of things that were pushing my rating up. I know.
Let's average it
like
out.
I said, the fight scene itself was a 5.
Nice.
I think I'm going to go ahead and give it like a 4.25.
Okay, 4.25.
I think I'll give it 4.25. I think there's no way to get it to 5, but you could, if you pushed it, you could get it to 4.5. But I'm going to stick with 4.25. It was, like I said, it was a dark episode, but it was a good episode.
Oh yeah, it was very good.
One of the things that I really liked about it was I didn't feel the political bullshit, the wokeness crap.
There was no political. There was no political bullshit.
And I love that.
It was great.
I love the fact that there was nothing there like that at all. It was awesome. It allowed me to concentrate on the movie and not sit here and go, get this shit off my screen.
Yep.
And everything. So, and the thing that got me is when we were rewatching it the second time, Kay made the statement that she remembers more about this episode than she remembers about any of the other ones.
Yep. Oh yeah.
So that tells you that it stuck in her mind too.
Yeah. Well, I can tell you from talking over the weekend to Western Echo, this was the first episode of What If that he really enjoyed.
Right.
And I have the proof.
Why.
I have the proof. I myself.
Yeah, so I'll say with 4.25.
It's 4.25? All right. Well, I myself will give it a 4.5.
Knew you were going to say that.
Because I like that dark and twisted stuff.
Right.
It was very detailed. It was very oriented. And, a lot of it will, people will go, oh, we've seen this before. Yeah, you did. You did. And it's one of those things where the fact that you saw Doctor Strange turn bad, that is a great what if. A great what if.
Oh, it was.
Okay.
Oh, no doubt.
Because that's the biggest part.
Mm-hmm.
That's the part where, holy crap, he's bad. He's Necromancer.
Mm-hmm.
Or is he something worse? That we will have to find out in Doctor Strange and the Multiverse of Madness, because I guarantee you we're gonna see this version again.
You think so?
Oh, absolutely, I think so. Absolutely.
I can see it. I mean, it's got to come down to that
Yeah,
in one way or another. You know, it's got to anything with him. It has got to come down to
full circle.
a him versus himself kind of a scenario. I don't see it going any other way.
Or him and Wanda going at it. Or they're both attacking, whatever's going to happen. But I have a
Right.
feeling that we're going to see something like this again.
Yes.
And if we don't see that, we may see something coming from Loki in the form of Kang the Conqueror, which we already know is going to happen in Ant-Man and the Wasp 3.
Mm-hmm.
Quantum Mania is Ant-Man and the Wasp Quantum Mania. So it's coming. It's coming. We're just getting started, and I've told everybody this from day one. So with that being said, I want to thank each and every one of you for taking a gander and taking a listen and watching our show and listening to our podcast each and every week. Avenger Pretenders will be live next Monday at 8 p.m. Eastern, where we talk about episode 5 of What If. We don't know what it is yet because that comes out this Wednesday. So I hope everybody had a great Labor Day. Don't forget the Sully Show is live Tuesdays at 8 p.m. Eastern, and Shout Out with JT is live on Thursdays at 8 p.m. Eastern, unless JT loses internet or power, and then he does whatever he needs to do. But if you want to hear that story, you'll have to tune into the Sully Show tomorrow at 8 p.m. So,
Well, and another quick little teaser, if you don't mind. We got a great feel-good story
yes, we do.
involving a World War II vet, and one you don't know about.
Ooh.
We're going to tell you how a gender reveal caused schools to lock down.
Oh boy, that's going to be a good one. So, with that being said, make sure you download the podcast. Go to anchor.fm/The Sully Show. Subscribe. It's free. Click the follow and the subscribe button here on Twitch, as well as DLive and YouTube and all that wonderful good stuff. We will see you guys next week for Avenger Pretender and tomorrow for The Sully Show. Have a great one, everybody, and goodbye. Goodbye. Yes, goodbye. Goodbye. All right, now that that's that, we're still live, but we are going to do a raid. Want to do a raid real quick. Let's see who's on. It's Labor Day. People are going to parties and stuff like that and barbecues and all that wonderful junk. So let's see who. And by the way, Lady Death, kudos on the moderation because damn.
Yeah, we got swamped there.
We got spammed. We got
multiple times by multiple
names.
names.
We got spammed. Spamming is not nice, but we got spammed. So we're gonna, do what we need to do and not goodbye, spammers. Fucktards. I mean, who said that?
You did.
You're right. I did. I'm proud of it. I'm proud of it. So let's see. You know what? Why don't we raid? Let's see here. Let's raid Brandy Heather. Yeah, let's raid Brandy Heather. She don't know what she's playing. It looks like Valorant is what she's playing. So we're gonna do a nice little raid. Say hello. Use the wonderful term Punchers Unite with the Accidental Punch logo. As long as you are a subscriber to our channel, you can do that. And highly recommend that if you want to help us out, subscribe. It'll be worth it, I promise. And don't forget to hit the bell to let you know when we're live. Brandy Heather. I want to make sure that I'm spelling that right. So guys, we will see you next week. Make sure you use Punchers Unite, and we will see you tomorrow. Have a good one, everybody. Bye-bye. Bye-bye. Bye-bye.